Welcome back, everyone. Today we are diving deep into, well, probably the most critical 3 pounds of tissue in your entire body.
The command center itself.
Exactly. We are, of course, talking about your brain. This incredible organ is the absolute center for everything you're thinking, remembering, focusing, learning, even how you feel, your mood.
It really is the engine running the show.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? We spend so much time talking about optimizing our bodies for, say, physical performance,
Yeah.
running faster, getting stronger.
Endurance, all that.
But the brain,
Yeah.
which, by the way, uses a huge chunk of our daily energy, something like 20% of our calories.
Yeah, it's incredibly demanding.
And it needs constant upkeep, constant maintenance. Yet it often kind of gets sidelined in the nutrition conversation.
Yeah.
That's precisely the point we want to unpack today. The core idea here is, well, it's simple, but really profound. Your brain doesn't run on just, good intentions or willpower. No, it needs actual fuel, specific fuel.
Specific fuel. And the quality of that fuel directly impacts the quality of your thinking, your focus, your memory. We're looking at how certain foods, targeted nutrition, can act like high-octane fuel for your brain.
Boosting sharpness right now, today.
And also enhancing how you lock in memories. And maybe most importantly, providing that crucial protection against aging and cognitive decline down the road.
Yeah, the so what of brain nutrition is really worth hitting up front.
Yeah.
Especially for, the kind of deep dive we do here.
Yeah.
If you think bigger picture, mental function, it isn't just predetermined by your genes or where you grew up.
Right.
The very real possibility of, say, age-related cognitive decline, or even just struggling to stay focused through a long afternoon at work.
Yeah.
That's directly measurably influenced by what you eat every single day.
So diet is like the main lever we can pull for keeping our neurons healthy.
It's arguably the primary leverage point for influencing long-term neuronal health.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty laser focused. We've gone through our sources and boiled it down to 10 specific foods. Foods that have really solid research-backed benefits for your brain function.
And we're not just going to list them off, are we?
No, definitely not.
Uh,
We need to unpack why each one is a powerhouse. What's the specific compound doing the heavy lifting? And crucially, how can you actually practically get these into your daily routine?
Without it feeling like this massive, overwhelming life overhaul.
Exactly. Small, achievable steps.
Right. And to make sense of these 10 foods, to make it logical and easier to, apply, we've structured them based on their main job, their function.
Okay. How are we breaking it down?
We'll go through 3 phases. First, we'll look at foods that provide the, let's call it structural foundation, the building blocks for your brain cells.
Makes sense. Build a house first.
Then second, we'll cover the antioxidant arsenal. These are the foods that offer cellular defense protection.
Okay. Protecting the house.
And finally, we'll look at foods that specialize in optimizing communication and focus, making sure the signals get through loud and clear.
Structure, protection, communication. Got it. That sounds like a really useful framework.
Hopefully it makes it easier to see how these foods work together and how to integrate them purposefully. All right, let's dive in then. Section 1, the building blocks. This is foundational, you said. The literal nuts and bolts, pretty much. If your brain's like a complex building, these foods are providing the steel beams, the concrete, the essential stuff needed to build and maintain the integrity of your brain cells, keeping them strong for the long haul.
And you mentioned earlier the brain uses a lot of energy, but what's it actually made of? Well, here's a key fact. The brain is roughly 60% fat by dry weight. 60%. Wow.
Yeah. So the type and quality of the fats we eat are absolutely paramount. We're essentially providing the raw materials, the high quality lipids needed to maintain the cell membranes. Think of them as the walls, the communication surfaces of all your neurons.
Okay, so if fat is that critical, where do we start? What's the number one building block? Well, leading the charge here, and honestly, it's pretty much non-negotiable for brain health, is number one, fatty fish. The omega-3 essential.
Right.
Salmon, sardines, those guys, exactly. When you look at the research, fatty fish, especially those cold water types like salmon, sardines, mackerel, even trout, they consistently come out on top. And there's a very good reason. They are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA. We hear omega-3s all the time. Good for the heart, good for inflammation. But let's get specific for the brain. How does an omega-3 molecule actually become part of my brain structure?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. There are two main types we focus on, EPA and DHA. EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, is maybe more famous for its anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body.
Right.
But DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, that's the real structural VIP for the brain. DHA gets preferentially snapped up and built into the phospholipids that make up the neuronal cell membrane.
So it becomes part of the cell wall itself.
Exactly. But think of that membrane not as a stiff brick wall, but more like a fluid, flexible, dynamic communication surface.
Okay.
The presence of DHA helps ensure that membrane stays fluid and flexible. And that fluidity is absolutely critical for signals, both electrical and chemical, to pass through quickly and efficiently.
Ah, so if your cell membranes get stiff because you're eating the wrong kinds of fats, signaling slows down, like laggy internet.
That's a great analogy. DHA keeps them responsive, flexible. It's like upgrading from old copper phone lines to fiber optics for your brain signals.
And that speed matters for, well, everything the brain does.
Pretty much. From complex problem solving down to just recalling a name. It all relies on these rapid, efficient signals. So the structural integrity that DHA provides has direct cognitive payoffs.
What does the science actually show? The science is really quite clear on this. Study after study shows a strong correlation. People who eat more marine omega-3s tend to have significantly better memory function. They process information faster, and this is key. They generally experience slower mental decline as they get older. So it's not just a maybe. It's structural input leading directly to better functional output.
That's the connection, yes. Structural integrity enabling functional performance.
That's compelling. Okay, so the sources recommend aiming for fatty fish. How often?
The general guideline is at least 2 to 3 times a week to get a meaningful dose.
Okay, 2 to 3 times. But let me ask you something that always comes up with fish, the mercury issue. People worry about heavy metals. Did the sources address that? Could that cancel out the benefits if you're eating it that often?
That's a really important point, and yes, it's a valid concern. The key, according to the sources, is choosing the right fish. You want to prioritize low mercury options.
Like the ones you mentioned, salmon, sardines.
Exactly. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, trout. These are generally smaller fish, lower on the food chain. They accumulate much less mercury than, say, the big predatory fish like swordfish, shark, or king mackerel.
Ah, okay. So stick to the smaller, oilier guys.
Right. For those fish, consumed 2 or 3 times a week, the huge benefits of the omega-3s far outweigh the minimal risk for mercury.
Got it. Prioritize small and oily. But what about people who just don't eat fish? Vegetarians, vegans, or just people who don't like it? What are their options for getting this crucial structural material?
Well, given how essential omega-3s are, especially DHA for the brain structure, if you're not eating fish, you absolutely need alternatives. Supplementation or certain plant sources become really important.
Like chia seeds, flax seeds, we hear about those?
Yes, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts too. They all contain plant-based omega-3s, but there's a really important catch here, a nuance the sources stressed. Plant-based omega-3 is primarily ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Your body can convert ALA into the EPA and DHA it needs, but that conversion process is notoriously inefficient.
How inefficient are we talking?
Often less than 10%, sometimes even less than 5% for DHA conversion. It varies person to person, but it's generally quite low.
Wow, okay. So just eating flax seeds might not be enough to get the DHA my brain needs for structure.
It provides some benefit, certainly, but it's unlikely to provide the optimal levels of DHA for structural integrity. So, for people avoiding fish entirely, the recommendation is usually to strongly consider a high-quality supplement.
Like fish oil. Or are there vegan options?
Fish oil is common, yes. But for vegans or vegetarians, algal oil is a fantastic option. Algae are actually where fish get their omega-3s from in the first place. So algal oil provides DHA directly, bypassing that inefficient conversion step. Just make sure it's third-party tested for purity and potency.
Algal oil. Good tip. That difference in absorption efficiency is really critical to understand. Okay, so we've got our primary structural fat covered with omega-3s. What's next in the building blocks category? All right, moving along the structural theme, we hit number 2. Nuts, specifically walnuts. They bring vitamin E and protective fats. Nuts in general are good, right? Healthy fats.
Definitely. Nuts are a great source of healthy monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, plus fiber and some protein. But walnuts often get singled out for brain health.
Is it just because they kind of look like little brains?
Well, that's a fun coincidence, but
Yeah.
no, it's mostly about their unique nutritional profile. They're rich in healthy fats, yes, including some plant-based ALA omega-3s we just discussed. But crucially, they are one of the best dietary sources of a specific form of vitamin E.
Vitamin E. Okay, so we built the structure with omega-3s. How does vitamin E from walnuts help maintain or protect that structure?
This is where we shift slightly from initial construction to, let's say, ongoing maintenance and damage control. Remember, we said the brain is very fatty. Those cell membranes are rich in lipids.
Right, 60% fat.
That high fat content makes them incredibly vulnerable to damage from something called oxidative stress, specifically a process called lipid peroxidation.
Lipid peroxidation sounds bad. What is it?
Basically, you have these unstable molecules called free radicals. They're generated by normal metabolism, stress, environmental factors. These free radicals try to steal electrons from other molecules to stabilize themselves. And the fatty acids in your cell membranes are an easy target.
So the free radicals are like rust attacking the structural steel of the brain cells.
That's a perfect analogy. They attack and damage the fatty membranes, causing structural failure over time. This damage accumulates and is linked to aging and cognitive decline.
Okay, so where does vitamin E come in?
Vitamin E is a powerful fat-soluble antioxidant. It positions itself within those fatty cell membranes and essentially sacrifices itself. It neutralizes the free radicals before they can attack the membrane fats.
So it takes the hit, protecting the structure.
Exactly. It intercepts the rust before it can damage the steel. Its role is potentially slowing down that age-related wear and tear on brain structures, helping protect against cognitive decline by actively shielding the membranes built with omega-3s.
I like that distinction. Building with fatty fish, protecting with walnuts and their vitamin E.
It's a complementary system. Build well, then protect what you've built.
And the practical side, how many walnuts do we need? Do I have to eat bowls of them?
No, thankfully. The application here is delightfully simple. We're not talking huge amounts.
Oh.
A small handful of walnuts, maybe about 14 halves, or just a small daily portion if you're having mixed nuts, is enough to provide a meaningful dose of vitamin E and those beneficial fats.
Okay, a small handful. That's doable.
Totally. It's a perfect snack for your desk, easy to toss into yogurt or oatmeal in the morning, or add to a salad. Consistency is much easier when it's simple like that.
All right. Omega-3s for building, vitamin E for protecting the fats. What's our third structural pillar? Our final structural pillar is a real everyday staple, kind of bridges structure and communication. Number 3, eggs. The choline and B vitamin powerhouse. Eggs, okay. Versatile, affordable. What makes them brain builders?
They're just incredibly nutrient dense. They're packed with high-quality protein, but for the brain, they shine because they're rich in B vitamins, especially B6, B12, and folate. These are all crucial for nerve health, energy metabolism in the brain, and even making mood-regulating chemicals.
B vitamins are important, got it. But you said eggs bridge structure and communication.
Yes, because the undisputed superstar in eggs for cognitive function is choline.
Choline. Okay, that's one you don't hear about as much as omega-3s or vitamin C. Why is it so critical, especially for structure and memory?
Choline is essential, full stop. Your body can make a little, but not enough, so you need it from diet. Structurally, it's required to build certain phospholipids, like phosphatidylcholine, which are key components of cell membranes themselves. Especially important in the hippocampus, the brain's main memory hub.
So, like omega-3s is part of the actual membrane structure.
Partly, yes. But here's where it gets really interesting and moves beyond just structure into communication. Choline is the direct precursor molecule your body uses to make acetylcholine.
Acetylcholine. Okay, I've definitely heard that term in relation to memory and focus. What does it do?
Acetylcholine is a major neurotransmitter. Think of neurotransmitters as chemical messengers that allow brain cells, neurons, to talk to each other. When an electrical signal reaches the end of one neuron, it needs help to jump the synapse to the next neuron.
And acetylcholine is one of those helpers.
It's a key one, especially for circuits involved in muscle control, yes, but critically in the brain, acetylcholine governs learning, memory formation, and sustained attention.
Attention and memory consolidation.
Exactly. It's vital for the processes that turn short-term experiences into lasting memories, largely happening in that choline-rich hippocampus. It's also crucial for maintaining focus. If you don't have enough choline to make enough acetylcholine,
your focus wanders. You can't lock in new information.
That seems to be the link, yes. Your ability to pay attention and solidify new learning can suffer.
Wow. Okay, let's try that city analogy again. If fatty fish build the roads, cell membranes, and walnuts protect the buildings from rust, lipid peroxidation, then eggs provide the traffic signals, the communication network.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Eggs provide the precursor for the essential chemical messaging system, acetylcholine, that allows the whole city, the whole brain, to coordinate its activity, pay attention, and store information effectively.
Structure plus the system to use it.
Precisely. Great structure is useless without efficient communication, and choline provides the fundamental chemistry for that communication, particularly for memory and focus.
And practically speaking, eggs are super easy to include.
Probably the easiest of the three so far. Hard-boiled eggs are great grab-and-go snacks. Scrambled for breakfast, omelets for lunch or dinner. Very versatile, and a really efficient way to get that crucial choline and those B vitamins. Okay, that wraps up section 1, the building blocks. Fatty fish for omega-3 structure, nuts walnuts for vitamin E protection of those fats, and eggs for choline, which helps with both structure and vital communication via acetylcholine. You got it. We've laid the foundation.
So now that we've built the house, we need to protect it from more than just rust, right? From daily wear and tear, internal threats. Exactly. That leads us perfectly into section 2, the antioxidant arsenal. The defense system.
This section is all about defense and cellular maintenance. We mentioned the brain is metabolically greedy, right? Using all that oxygen, burning all that fuel.
Yeah, the 20% energy hog.
Well, that intense activity generates a lot of metabolic waste products, including those free radicals we talked about with vitamin E. This section highlights foods packed with compounds that neutralize those free radicals and also help reduce inflammation, another major threat to brain health.
Okay, protecting those delicate structures from daily oxidative stress and inflammation. Who's first on the defense team? Kicking off the arsenal is a small but mighty contender. Number 4, blueberries. Our flavonoid superheroes. Blueberries, the classic superfood. Is the hype justified for brain health?
Oh, absolutely. That label is entirely earned here. They are bursting with antioxidants, particularly a type of flavonoid responsible for their deep blue-purple color called anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins. Okay, let's get specific again. What do these anthocyanins actually do once they're in our system? How does eating blueberries translate into, like, better thinking?
They seem to have a powerful dual action. First, they are potent anti-inflammatories. They help calm down that chronic low-level inflammation in the body and brain, sometimes called inflammaging or linked to brain fog.
Okay, reducing inflammation. That creates a cleaner environment for neurons.
It's exactly a less noisy environment. Second, and this is really interesting, the sources highlighted that these flavonoids have significant effects on our blood vessels. They help improve the strength and flexibility of blood vessel walls and also promote vasodilation.
Vasodilation, meaning they help blood vessels relax and widen.
Precisely, which means better blood flow to the brain.
So they're not just protecting the brain cells directly, they're improving the delivery system for oxygen and nutrients to those cells.
That's a key part of it. Better blood flow means faster delivery of fuel and oxygen, faster removal of waste products, and just better overall brain function. Think of it as upgrading the plumbing and the highways leading to the city.
Okay, that makes sense. Any other effects?
Yes, there's also evidence suggesting these compounds can interact directly with brain signaling pathways. They seem to protect neurons from stress signals and may even improve the efficiency of communication between brain cells.
Wow. So reducing inflammation, improving blood flow, and potentially enhancing cell-to-cell communication. That's pretty comprehensive.
It really covers multiple angles of protection and optimization.
And like walnuts, this seems like one of the easier ones to incorporate regularly.
Totally. And regularly is the key word here. Antioxidant defense isn't a one-off thing. It's a daily need because metabolic stress happens constantly. Adding a cup of blueberries to your oatmeal or smoothie, or just having a bowl washed and ready for snacking. Simple, delicious ways to keep that protective shield up.
All right, blueberries down. What's our next defensive shield? A real classic, I bet. You guessed it. Ubiquitous and effective. Number 5, oranges. The vitamin C shield. Vitamin C, everyone knows it for colds, for immune support, but why is it on a brain food list?
Its role in brain health is critical but often flies under the radar.
Yeah.
The brain actually has one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C in the body. It actively accumulates it.
Really? Why does the brain need so much vitamin C compared to, say, my muscles? What's its specific job there?
Well, remember that high metabolic rate, that intense energy use and waste production.
The free radical factor.
Exactly. Vitamin C is a powerhouse, water-soluble antioxidant. Inside the brain, it's absolutely essential for neutralizing those pervasive free radicals generated by all that neural activity. We talked about how free radicals damage cell components, like membranes.
Leading to that cumulative damage over time.
Right. Vitamin C helps quench those free radicals, slowing down that degenerative process. This might first show up as seemingly minor things, slightly slower recall, trouble finding words, difficulty focusing. Vitamin C is part of the daily cleanup crew, preventing that damage from accumulating.
So, essential daily housekeeping for the brain. Does it do anything beyond just defense? Any functional roles?
Oh yes. It's not just passive defense. Vitamin C is also a vital cofactor, a helper molecule needed for the synthesis of several key neurotransmitters.
Like acetylcholine?
Not directly acetylcholine, but others like dopamine and norepinephrine. These are absolutely crucial for regulating mood, motivation alertness, and higher-level executive functions like planning and decision-making.
Ah, okay, so it protects the brain structure and helps make the chemicals needed for things like drive and focus.
Exactly. It supports both the physical integrity and the chemical signaling required for optimal function.
And the practical application is pretty straightforward here, I assume?
Couldn't be simpler. Aiming for one medium orange a day generally provides a good dose to help maintain those high brain concentrations.
Just one orange, easy enough.
And remember, it's the nutrient profile we're after.
Hmm.
If you're not an orange fan or want variety, the sources mentioned you can get similar high doses of vitamin C from other foods. Think strawberries, bell peppers, especially red ones, kiwi, even broccoli has a decent amount.
Mix and match to keep it interesting but consistent. Got it. Okay, now, I have a feeling I know what might be next. Is it the one everyone hopes to hear about? Ah, it usually is. Get ready for the good news with a crucial caveat. Number 6, dark chocolate, 70% cocoa minimum. The treat with benefits, dark chocolate, yes. But okay, you immediately hit the caveat. 70% cocoa minimum. Why is that number so important? Why not just any chocolate?
Because it's all about the cocoa solids. That's where the magic lies. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate below that 70% threshold typically has much more sugar, milk solids, and other additives, and significantly less of the beneficial cocoa compounds.
So the benefits come from the cocoa itself, not the sugar or fat.
Exactly. The value here comes primarily from compounds found in the cocoa bean called flavonols. These are potent antioxidants, similar in some ways to the anthocyanins in blueberries. Once you drop below 70% cocoa, the flavanol concentration plummets and the sugar content often skyrockets.
And too much sugar is counterproductive for focus and brain health anyway.
Right, it leads to energy crashes and inflammation. So 70% or higher ensures you're maximizing the good stuff, flavonols, and minimizing the detrimental stuff, sugar.
Okay, so let's talk benefits. What do these cocoa flavonols actually do for my thinking and mood? Is it just the antioxidant effect? The
Yeah.
antioxidant effect is there, definitely. But the flavonols have another really exciting immediate effect. They are powerful vasodilators, like the blueberries, helping blood flow.
Even more directly, it seems. Cocoa flavonols stimulate the lining of your arteries, the endothelium, to produce something called nitric oxide.
NO.
Nitric oxide.
That rings a bell.
NO is a signaling molecule that tells the smooth muscles in your artery walls to relax. When they relax, the arteries widen.
So more blood can flow through faster.
Precisely. And this happens relatively quickly after eating dark chocolate. You get enhanced blood flow specifically to the brain, including areas critical for cognition.
And better blood flow means more oxygen, more glucose delivered right where it's needed. This translates pretty directly into measurable cognitive improvements. Sharper memory, faster reaction times, better attention, improved verbal fluency in some studies.
Wow, it's quite immediate. A natural cognitive enhancer just by improving circulation.
It appears so. Plus, dark chocolate does contain a small amount of caffeine, which boosts alertness. And perhaps more significantly, it contains a related compound called theobromine.
Theobromine? It's a milder, longer-lasting stimulant than caffeine. It provides a gentle lift in energy and mood without the jitters caffeine can sometimes cause. So you get circulation benefits, antioxidant protection, and a mild mood energy boost.
Okay, sounds amazing. But we absolutely have to come back to that caveat moderation. This isn't a license to eat giant bars, right? How much are we talking?
Definitely not giant bars. The sources are very clear on this. Because it's still calorie dense and contains fat, moderation is crucial. A small piece, roughly 1 ounce or about 30 grams per day, is generally considered sufficient to get the benefits without overdoing the calories or sugar. Even dark chocolate has some.
1 ounce, like a small square or two.
Exactly. Think of it as a healthy, intentional ritual, a small, enjoyable treat that happens to be good for your brain. Maybe that afternoon pick-me-up instead of a sugary biscuit or candy.
Intentional treat, not mindless munching. Got it. Okay, who's the final member of our antioxidant arsenal? Our final defensive powerhouse in this section is a green giant. Number 7, broccoli. Bringing vitamin K and cognitive ability. Broccoli, the quintessential healthy vegetable. Makes sense it's on the list. What's its specific brain angle beyond just being generally good for you?
Broccoli packs a serious punch. It's loaded with antioxidants, including vitamin C, which we already discussed, and various sulfur-containing compounds like sulforaphane, which have their own protective effects. But the unique contribution here, the one highlighted for cognition, is its high content of vitamin K.
Vitamin K. Okay, you hear about K1 for blood clotting, maybe K2 for brains, but vitamin K for the brain, that seems less common. What does it do?
It plays a really fascinating specialized role in the brain. Vitamin K is essential for the synthesis and metabolism of a specific class of lipids called sphingolipids.
Sphingolipids, never heard of them.
They might sound obscure, but they are incredibly important structural fats that are densely packed in brain cell membranes. And crucially, they are major components of the myelin sheath.
Ah, myelin. That's the insulation around nerve fibers, right? That helps signals travel fast.
Exactly. Think of your nerve fibers, the axons, as electrical wires carrying signals. The myelin sheath is the fatty insulation wrapped around those wires. It allows the electrical impulse to jump rapidly down the axon, dramatically speeding up communication between neurons.
So faster thinking, faster reactions.
Right. The integrity of that myelin insulation is absolute paramount for rapid brain processing. Vitamin K, through its role in sphingolipid metabolism, helps support the formation and maintenance of healthy myelin.
Wow. So it's not just protecting the cell body, it's helping maintain the high-speed data cables.
That's a great way to think about it. By supporting myelin health, vitamin K contributes to overall brain function, faster processing speed, and is linked in studies to better cognitive ability and memory, especially as we age.
Okay. If acetylcholine from eggs is the traffic signal, vitamin K from broccoli helps ensure the fiber optic cables carrying this signal are perfectly insulated and fast.
A perfect connection. It's amazing how specific these nutrient roles are, isn't it? Some build the structures, some clean up damage, some maintain the speed infrastructure.
Truly is. Now with broccoli, does how you cook it matter for getting that vitamin K?
Yes, preparation definitely matters, especially for retaining some of the other beneficial compounds. Vitamin K itself is relatively stable to heat, but broccoli also has vitamin C and those sulforaphane compounds, which are more delicate.
So boiling it to death is probably bad.
Generally, yes. Intense, prolonged boiling leaches out water-soluble vitamins like C, and high heat can degrade other compounds. The sources often suggest lightly steaming broccoli.
Steaming preserves more nutrients.
It seems to be one of the best methods, just until it's tender crisp. That way you retain more of the vitamin K, vitamin C, and other phytonutrients before adding it to salads, stir fries, soups, or just eating it as a side. Maximize the benefit you're aiming for.
Excellent practical tip. Okay, we've built the structure, section 1, and set up a strong defense system with antioxidants, section 2. Where do we go next? Now we move into our final, highly specialized section. Section 3. Focusing on communication and focus. Okay, so this isn't about building or defending as much, more about optimizing performance.
Exactly. These are the foods that provide unique minerals or specialized compounds that seem to directly influence the brain's signaling pathways. Its ability to learn efficiently, regulate mood, and maintain that sharp, sustained focus we all want.
Less about the physical hardware, more about the operating system and the speed of the processor.
That's a good analogy. We're looking at things that act like critical cofactors, maybe like the spark plugs or the fine-tuning adjustments, and the complex chemical reactions needed for sharp thinking and stable mood.
All right, let's get into it. What's first in communication and focus? Starting us off is a tiny seed packing a huge punch. Number 8, pumpkin seeds, the mineral multitaskers. Pumpkin seeds or pepitas? Okay, great snack. Why are they here for communication and focus? Because these little seeds are incredibly dense in 4 key minerals that are absolutely essential for optimal cognitive function: magnesium, iron, zinc, and copper. 4 critical minerals in one small package.
Yes, when you eat pumpkin seeds, you're basically delivering a toolkit of cofactors needed for dozens of vital enzymatic processes happening constantly in your brain.
Okay, this definitely needs a deeper dive. Let's break down those 4. Why are these specific minerals so important for brain communication and focus? Let's start with magnesium.
Okay, magnesium is incredibly important. One of its key roles in the brain involves regulating the NMDA receptors.
NMDA receptors, those are involved in learning, right?
Critically involved. They are essential for something called synaptic plasticity, the ability of connections between neurons to strengthen or weaken over time. This plasticity is the fundamental biological basis of learning new things and forming new memories. Magnesium helps keep these receptors working properly.
So magnesium is foundational for learning and memory formation. Got it. What about zinc?
Zinc plays a really interesting role. It's involved in how neurons communicate, particularly with glutamate, which is the brain's main go signal, the major excitatory neurotransmitter. Zinc seems to help modulate or fine-tune that glutamate signaling.
Keeping the communication sharp and not overexcited.
Exactly, keeping it efficient and precise. Even a mild deficiency in zinc might subtly dull the rapid-fire signaling needed for quick thinking and focused attention.
Okay. Magnesium for learning, zinc for sharp signaling. Then we have copper and iron.
Right. Copper is essential for several enzymes, including ones involved in nerve function and energy production within the brain cells. Remember mitochondria, the power plants of the cell?
Yeah, generating ATP energy.
Neurons are packed with mitochondria because they need so much energy. Copper plays a role in keeping those mitochondrial power plants running efficiently. And finally, iron.
Iron, we usually think of blood carrying oxygen.
And that's crucial for the brain, too. The brain is incredibly oxygen dependent. Iron is essential for hemoglobin, which carries oxygen in the blood. Getting enough oxygen to the brain is fundamental for powering all that complex signaling and cognitive processing. Iron deficiency, even mild, is strongly linked to fatigue and brain fog.
Wow, so pumpkin seeds aren't just a snack. They're like a concentrated mineral supplement supporting learning, magnesium, sharp signaling, zinc, energy production, copper, and oxygen delivery, iron, all crucial for focus and communication.
It's a remarkably efficient package. Hard to beat for getting that specific combination of brain-critical minerals easily.
And how do we use them? Just snack on them.
Snacking is great. Roasting them brings out the flavor, or just sprinkle them liberally on salads, yogurt, oatmeal, even blended into smoothies or pestos. A tablespoon or 2 gives you a really good mineral boost for your brain's processing power.
Effortless inclusion. Love it. Okay, moving from minerals to a spice that's gotten enormous attention lately. Ah, yes. Number 9, turmeric. Crossing the barrier for mood support. Turmeric, that bright yellow spice, key in curries. What's its brain magic?
The power of turmeric resides almost entirely in one specific active compound, a polyphenol called curcumin.
Curcumin.
Curcumin is a very potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. We've talked about why that's important for overall brain protection.
Yeah.
But what makes curcumin especially relevant to this communication and mood section is its unique delivery mechanism.
The delivery mechanism, you mean how it gets into the brain?
Exactly.
Okay.
We mentioned earlier that the brain is very selective about what it lets in. It has this protective shield called the blood-brain barrier, or BBB.
Right, the security checkpoint. Keeps bad stuff out, but sometimes keeps good stuff out, too.
Precisely. It's a tightly packed layer of cells lining the brain's blood vessels. It stops most pathogens, toxins, and even many potentially beneficial molecules from entering the brain tissue itself.
Okay, so what's special about curcumin?
What's really fascinating and why there's so much research excitement is that curcumin appears to be one of the relatively few compounds that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier.
It gets past the security checkpoint.
Yes, because it's a small lipid-soluble, fat-soluble molecule, it seems able to slip through that barrier. This means it can exert its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects directly within the brain tissue itself.
That's a huge difference. Most anti-inflammatories work outside the brain, but this one gets inside.
That seems to be the key advantage. If chronic, low-grade inflammation inside the brain contributes to mood issues, brain fog, and potentially neurodegenerative decline,
Then having an anti-inflammatory agent that can actually get in there to work is critical.
exactly. By reducing inflammation directly within the brain environment, curcumin may help neurons function better, communicate more effectively, and potentially even support the growth of new neurons, particularly in areas related to memory and mood like the hippocampus.
So what are the specific benefits researchers are citing?
They're pretty profound, though more research is always needed. Potential benefits stemming from that direct anti-inflammatory action include boosting memory and attention, supporting mood regulation, it's being studied for depression, and potentially offering protective effects in conditions like Alzheimer's disease, where brain inflammation is a known factor.
So adding turmeric is like applying a targeted internal anti-inflammatory specifically to the brain environment where all that communication needs to happen cleanly.
Yeah.
Sounds like a long-term strategy.
It definitely is. This isn't usually about immediate effects, but rather consistent long-term neuroprotection and support. But there's really important practical catch with curcumin.
Oh, what's that?
It has notoriously poor bioavailability on its own.
Meaning your body doesn't absorb it very well?
Exactly. You can eat a lot of turmeric, but only a tiny fraction of the curcumin might actually get absorbed into your bloodstream, let alone make it across the blood-brain barrier.
Okay, so how do we fix that? Is there a trick?
There is, and it's simple. The sources overwhelmingly recommend pairing turmeric with black pepper, specifically a compound in black pepper called piperine.
Piperine from black pepper, what does that do?
Piperine does something amazing. It significantly inhibits certain enzymes in your liver and gut wall that would normally break down curcumin quickly. By blocking those enzymes, piperine allows much more curcumin to be absorbed.
How much more?
Studies suggest piperine can increase curcumin bioavailability by up to 2,000%.
2,000%. Wow. Okay, that's not just a small tweak, that's essential.
It really is. If you want the potential brain benefits of curcumin, you pretty much have to consume it with piperine. Otherwise, you're likely not absorbing enough for it to matter.
Fantastic, actionable detail. So when using turmeric in cooking, maybe golden milk lattes always add a good grind of black pepper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Add turmeric liberally to soups, stews, rice dishes, scrambled eggs, roasted vegetables.
Yeah.
But always ensure black pepper is there too.
Yeah.
Or, if you're looking at supplements, choose one that explicitly includes piperine or a bioavailability enhancer.
That pairing is the key to unlocking those communication and mood benefits over time. Got it.
Okay, we're down to the last one. What's number 10? Finally, we arrive at our 10th item, one that directly targets that feeling of immediate, sharp, high-level function. Number 10, green tea, offering focused alertness without the jitters. Green tea. often suggested as a coffee alternative. Is it just about less caffeine? It's much more sophisticated than just being coffee light. Green tea is considered a true cognitive optimizer because of the unique, powerful synergy between its two main active compounds. Caffeine, yes, but also an amino acid called L-theanine. Okay, caffeine, we know, blocks adenosine, makes you feel alert. But L-theanine, what does that do? And why is the green tea experience different from, say, a strong cup of coffee? This is where L-theanine is the star. It's an amino acid found almost uniquely in tea leaves, Camellia sinensis. L-theanine has this remarkable ability to promote relaxation without causing drowsiness.
Relaxation without sedation, how does it do that?
It seems to work by increasing the activity of the inhibitory neurotransmitter GABA, and also by boosting alpha brainwave activity.
Alpha waves, those are associated with calmness, right? Like during meditation.
Exactly. Alpha waves indicate a state of wakeful relaxation. Your mind is calm, but alert and focused. Now imagine combining that calming, focus-enhancing effect of L-theanine with the alertness-boosting effect of caffeine.
Okay, so the caffeine provides the energy and alertness.
And the L-theanine smooths out the edges. It counteracts the potential jitteriness, anxiety, or scattered feeling that caffeine alone can sometimes cause, especially in higher doses.
Ah, so instead of that sharp peak and potential crash you get from coffee, green tea gives you more of a sustained, calm, focused energy.
Precisely. That's the synergy. You get improved cognitive function, enhanced alertness, better focus, and improved memory performance from the caffeine. But the L-theanine provides a foundation of calm. It results in sharp focus without the jitters or mental noise.
That sounds like the ideal state for deep work, studying, or tackling complex problems.
It really is. It's that perfect blend of energy and calm that allows for sustained concentration and efficient learning. It provides the boost for rapid neural communication while simultaneously reducing background mental static and stress.
That controlled energy is incredibly valuable. So what's the practical application here? Just drink green tea.
Pretty much. The most straightforward suggestion is to try a simple, deliberate swap. Maybe replace one of your daily cups of coffee, perhaps the afternoon one when you might be prone to jitters or a crash, with a cup of high-quality green tea instead.
Just swap one cup and see how it feels.
Yeah. Many people who make that switch report a noticeable difference. They feel alert and productive, but calmer, more focused, and better able to concentrate for longer periods without feeling wired or anxious.
Does the type of green tea matter?
Quality can make a difference. Higher quality loose leaf green teas or matcha, which is powdered whole tea leaves, tend to have higher concentrations of both caffeine and, importantly, L-theanine compared to some standard tea bags. So experimenting with different types might be worthwhile.
Okay, matcha or good loose leaf for potentially more L-theanine. Great tip. Wow, that's our 10.
10 powerful
It's
foods.
seriously impactful. And we broke them down by function, which I found really helpful. We went from building the core structure with those essential fats in fish, nuts, and eggs
Right, the foundation.
to establishing that strong defensive barrier with antioxidants from blueberries, oranges, dark chocolate, and broccoli.
Protecting the investment.
And finally, optimizing the internal communication, focus, and mood with minerals from pumpkin seeds and those specialized compounds in turmeric and green tea.
It really paints a picture of a complete, holistic system for supporting the brain, doesn't it? We went beyond just saying, eat this, is hopefully understanding the why.
Yeah.
Yeah, understanding the mechanisms, how DHA literally becomes part of the cell membrane, how vitamin E stops that rusting process, how choline makes the key messenger acetylcholine, how curcumin gets past the barrier, how L-theanine changes brainwaves. Knowing the why makes the what much more meaningful, I think.
Definitely. Our mission was to get that knowledge quickly but thoroughly, to really understand why these 10 foods matter. And if I had to boil this whole deep dive down to one single takeaway message, it would be this.
What's the core message?
Eating for your brain isn't about some kind of extreme temporary restrictive diet. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. It's about the cumulative impact of small, consistent choices.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's about regularly, consistently weaving these nutrient-dense foods into your meals and snacks, targeting those three areas we talked about: structure, protection, communication. Small changes add up.
Massively. Because those small changes, adding berries here, swapping a tea there, choosing fish a couple of times, those are the changes that are sustainable. And sustainability over weeks, months, years, decades, that's what builds that long-term resilience, that lifelong neuroprotective effect.
So think about those simple shifts. Maybe it's just making a conscious effort to get fatty fish twice this week. Maybe it's keeping walnuts or pumpkin seeds on your desk instead of candy.
Or ensuring you add black pepper whenever you use turmeric.
Rare.
Or trying that green tea swap for an afternoon focus boost.
Exactly. Those small daily actions. They seem minor, but they compound over time to make a huge difference in your mental sharpness today and your brain health for the future.
And connecting this back to the bigger picture, we've really dug into how specific even tiny components in our food, like vitamin K supporting myelin or magnesium enabling plasticity, are directly linked to how fast and well our brains work, cognitive speed, mental agility. It's influenced by these nutrients.
Which brings us to the final provocative thought for our listeners, right? A challenge, perhaps. Since we know the brain's fuel needs are so specific, and we've seen how these nutrients can potentially impact signaling and function relatively poorly, here's the question for you to ponder this week. What's the challenge?
What one minor dietary shift could you intentionally implement this week based on boosting just one of the nutrients or foods we discussed today? Maybe focus on getting enough magnesium from those pumpkin seeds. Maybe ensure you nail that turmeric pipering combo daily. Maybe prioritize getting DHA from fish or algae oil for a few days straight.
Just pick one thing to focus on.
Pick one thing and then pay close attention. See if you can actually perceive any difference, even a subtle one, in your personal learning speed, your mood stability, your ability to sustain focus, or just your overall mental clarity over the next 7 days.
Testing it out in your own command center.
Exactly. The scientific evidence is compelling. The mechanisms make sense. Now it's about seeing if you can feel the application. What small change will you experiment with this week?